Today we're talking about the biggest new Netflix show, Devil May Cry, the anime. I personally have not played many of the games. I've only played five, and I did really enjoy it, but I didn't. I was fully invested in the gameplay, but not at all in the story, and I didn't really care about the story. And in this show, it's more about all of the story and everything. So I really got to see a new and fresh look at the Devil May Cry series as a whole.
That's really interesting. Because this is like a completely different adaptation. To be honest, it's an adaptation of the third game, but it's like it's like a different parallel universe because there's like certain plot points and the characters that are there, but a bunch of stuff is just straight up different. Like it's not the same at all. To be honest, I feel conflicted about this show because I can see where they're trying to go. That there's some interesting ideas, and I want to see what they can do with this. But I have some doubt in the leadership. Adi Shankar, which is I think the producer, he went like recently on Twitter. He was just posting pictures of Asmongold on his Twitter. And like Asmongold is like the king of hobos. And he was like really happy about him or something. Like
I wouldn't say hobos, more like degenerates. He has a house. He's just fucking filthy, and he promotes his like lifestyle of just sitting in a room all day, every day, not drinking water and not brushing his teeth. I do want to say, from an outside view, kind of looking in, I was sort of watching this show and taking it for sort of face value, if you will. Like, I was introduced to this new story and new characters from my view, and I don't know anything about them. I don't know anything that they've really done. And I was just taking the story elements as they came at me and judging them as the story laid them out. And for me personally, I think this show missed the mark, in my opinion. I didn't very much enjoy it. It kind of slogged down very much as it got to the ending episodes. It's fairly short, but it really took me I didn't really enjoy going through it all. I did very much enjoy the first episode. I remember sending to Faik, "Oh, this first episode, it's peak." And then they really get into the nitty gritty. I wouldn't say nitty gritty, more like they get into more characters as the show progresses. And I think there's a lot of insufferable characters. And the two characters that I really enjoyed were Dante, obviously. Although at times it's like too much Dante. It's like, okay, we get it. It's like your whole shtick. You know, it's a little tropey, but it's all right. It works well. But my favorite character was the rabbit. I think the voice acting was phenomenal. Best voice acting in the show. I think he was a standout villain. And in my opinion, I think I disliked the way he was sent off. I think he was all about wits and standing up for the little guy, and he sort of kind of just turned into big monster that got defeated in terms of like brute strength. And it was kind of lame.
I think I agree with you. Dante and the White Rabbit were the best characters. I'm sad about what they did to Lady because in the games, Lady is a very good. Okay, when I say Lady, I mean Mary.
I know who she is.
Yeah.
In the Dante games, calls her Lady in the show at the end.
In the games, Lady is a very good character, and in this show, I've seen some memes about how this is a Lady May Cry because it's a lady doing a lot of things. Yeah.
She became the main character as time progressed, and that's part of the reason I did sort of have trouble getting through the show. I thought all the military aspects were super boring. None of the characters there really grabbed me with like the whole special units.
Yeah.
None of them were particularly interesting or sort of well thought out, in my opinion. And then they sort of had like a shock value moment, like a fucking Invincible season 1. shock value moment, but it didn't really pay off because I didn't care about any of the characters. I didn't know anything about the characters, and it just didn't really work at all for me. And also in terms of the animation, I do want to say the CGI was very. It just didn't work for me. Like, it felt like they put a lot more effort into the show, and they sort of cut corners in terms of the main villain cast being all CGI and Dante's devil form being CGI. It just didn't look good, and it didn't match the style of the show.
It was ass. It was ass. His devil form was so bad. Like, like just.
Oh, one more thing.
Yeah.
His devil form didn't make sense to me because he went into devil form just to like fly and like get all these people. I'm like, sure, okay, he gets into his devil form when it's like stressful situations. In the final fight, it takes him fucking forever to get into his devil form. His like best friend Enzo is killed in front of him, and he's not in his devil form. What is going on? Like, just get in your devil form when you start fighting this big fucking guy that you know is the main villain. I don't understand what's like taking so long.
Also, as you know, with Castlevania, I think there's similar concepts of like demon / devil, or like, you know, like evil creature hunting. I think they should have gone for a more Castlevania route where it was focused on Dante discovering this plot. I think that would have been much better instead of just straight up revealing it to us and having it the military perspective for the whole show, the military discovering Dante. I think that was really stupid. And
the military really took the front seat in terms of character depth, growth, time slot. Like, all of them took the main spot, and not even like the interesting military characters, because we only see the vice president a few times.
Yeah,
and he was like my favorite of the military bunch. And I'm sad because in the upcoming seasons, Kevin Conroy is not going to be able to voice him, and I feel like his voice was like super important to his character. And he was super entertaining to see. Like, he was just like this crazy devout Christian guy who kept believing in God. But we only get to see him a handful of times, and it was sort of lackluster.
I mean, so the parts that I will kind of give credit to the show is it's clearly a setup season. You know, season 2 is obviously going to have more meat in it, is what it looks like to me. Like, this felt more like a prologue, if you know what I mean, right?
Mm-hmm. I will say another topic that I do want to talk about is the themes of sort of racism that the show kind of tries to tackle. I guess speciesism, because they're like devils, and there's like, oh, not all devils are bad, not all devils are like good, or
immigration
whatever.
I feel like is the better.
Yeah. To me, it doesn't really work because they're literally devils from hell. Like, let's be so for real. They're trying to we're trying to like be sympathetic towards them, but they're all like devils from hell, and they're immigrating into the world or whatever. It doesn't work as a allegory for immigration, in my opinion, because they're not like us, for better for a lack of a better term.
Also, it's contradictory because in one of the episodes, Dante literally says, "When I go into my devil form, I can feel all this hatred and anger. My father must have been like so good to suppress his hatred and whatever." Okay, so you're telling us that the devils inherently are like hatred and anger, but then you're also showing us the civilian devils. They don't have hatred in them. Like, what's the difference? You know?
It doesn't make sense because there's like, what is the difference between a good and bad devil? Like, what makes a good and bad devil other than their appearance? Like, all of the good devils just kind of look like humans with a little bit of horns. And it's like, okay, so that's not a devil. That's a human with horns. They're not really trying to make it like these. They're actually devils. They're trying to make them sort of like they're making them more similar to humans to try and get this aspect of immigration and everything. But it's not working at all.
Yeah, I see what the show is trying to do, but I don't know if Devil May Cry is the right medium for this, because Devil May Cry is just straight up Doom, but with swords. You know, that's what Devil May Cry is, the game itself. Like, in a Doom movie, you're not going to have sympathetic demons. That just doesn't make any sense, you know?
Yeah.
But I see what they're trying to do. I want to mention Mundus and Virgil. Do you know anything about them?
I know Mundus is the king of hell,
Mundus is
and
the
I
king
know
of hell.
Virgil.
Yeah.
Virgil is Dante's twin brother who is alive at the end. That's all I really know.
Yeah, so it seems like they really changed Virgil's character, is what it looks like. Because in the games, Virgil is like, Virgil and Dante survive the demon attack at their house when they were children. They don't know that that each other is alive. And then, Dante decides to abandon his devil side, basically, and Virgil embraces it. In the games, Virgil is, he's power hungry. He doesn't want what happened in his childhood to happen again. So he wants just more power, more strength. And he does know Mundus is the reason why this happened. And, he hates him. And Virgil is like, he's a loner. So he doesn't really want others' help. But now, in the show, Virgil is this knight at the end where he goes around saving devils. He has embraced his devil side. He's like working for Mundus. It's a completely new take on Virgil, and I don't know if it's gonna work because Virgil has a huge fan base. People outside of Devil May Cry know about Virgil. The I am the storm that is approaching and stuff like that. So I don't know because in the show, it looks like he's going to be like a revolutionary or something. And he's working for Mundus, which is just straight up different from the games. In the games, Virgil was brainwashed and he was working for Mundus for like one game, but he was completely out of it. And in the show, he's not. So I don't know what they're going to do with that. But if I were to say something at the end, is I think the show there's some potential in there, but I don't know if this is going to work out because I have some doubts in the leadership and I have some doubts from watching the show itself. So I'm a little afraid.
For me personally, my interest in the show is not there. I was interested in the show off the first episode. I thought the style of the animation was super cool. It was what I was enjoying it a lot. I thought the storytelling was fine. I thought it was just going to be like another like fun like Devil Hunter kind of show, and then it tried to become like too much. It tried to do too many things, and it didn't do any of those really well for me. And so I'm probably not going to continue watching if they make a season 2, unless I hear something like, "Oh, this season is the best thing I've ever seen in my entire life," kind of thing. I probably won't end up watching season 2, and to be honest, I wouldn't recommend watching season 1. I would probably give this show a solid 4 out of 10.
I'm going to give this show, I think it was still enjoyable to watch, so I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. If you wanna watch or do something about Devil May Cry, go on YouTube, watch the first 3 games, chronological lore video, and then play the 4th game and the 5th game. That's what I would recommend. They're really good. All the games are good. All right. Please don't forget to like, subscribe,
ring the bell.
We like to read your comments, or sometimes responding to them is really nice. And you can disagree with us. We will discuss whatever you disagreed with us. And thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
To vacant halls I won't surrender.